Okay, we'll move on to resolution 1033.
You want me to go talk with Kathy though? And
We'll ask for your input. I'm sure we all know what's going to be, but it's fair that we ask for it. Bill, you're up.
What?
I guess
For the 3 new council members, Mid-American canceled our contract last year, so we went out for proposals and sent out for 7, received 4. Of the 4, they narrowed it down to 2, and the 2, we narrowed it down to Mid-American again as being the most cost-effective. The highlights, 24% of the power we buy from Mid-American, 76% we buy from WAPA. The average cost we're paying for Mid-American right now is between 5 and 5.5 cents a kilowatt. Under the new contract for the year 2000, calendar year 2011, the cost is basically flatline, so we couldn't ask for a better rate. And over the 5-year period, the rate goes up each year through the 5-year period. So when you average it out, it's an 11% increase, or $90,000 annually over 2, 3, 4, and 5 years. We still pay other costs through MISO, but that cost is really small compared to the total bill. I think it's a great contract. Did along good with Mid-American. They proved that during the ice storm. Lakeview's one of the very few towns in Iowa that stands on its own. We don't belong to a group or nobody, nothing. It's worked out well for the city. It's always been that way.
Anybody got any questions for Bill?
I guess first of all, we got one. Believe it or not, I did look at this like before. Spent a couple hours on this, but and I guess the first one is this limitations. I guess I read that a little bit. Can you clear that up for me? What does that tell us about limited liability and how that all plays out in this area?
Are you talking under the cover sheet way?
I'm talking here, if you go in that contract here.
On the main body?
Yeah, page 18 there.
Okay.
I just want to know what when they talk about liability and damages, I want to know what our exposure is as a city. I guess is what I guess I wasn't real clear about this, so what they're telling me. Except as set forth herein, there is no warranty of merchantable ability or fitness for a particular purpose of any and all implied warranties are disclaimed.
Which, just so you know, that is exactly what I sued the one company for the water and sewer plant.
Okay.
Was that there is an implied warranty that they put themselves out as an expert in engineering these type of facilities. So there comes with that an implied warranty. So the first sentence right there, they're disclaiming any.
Okay. So it would be hard to find them at fault for any kind of power surge, you know, anything that would be generated from Mid-America. So we're pretty
Standard in the industry.
Okay. All right.
We hold them harmless, they hold us harmless.
Okay. All right.
But they do say, for breach of any provision for which an express remedy or measure is stated herein, then the damages are limited to the loss.
Okay. My other question was on this, as you talked about this, our billing is going to become real complicated, from what I understand, right?
It already is.
Okay. According to this, it said that this master agreement, we have, what, 12 months that we can go back and check this out to see if we're getting billed right, if there's no... My question is, does the city need to have in place somebody that audit these every now and then, or does somebody audit it now? Or I guess I just want to know what we think about that. I mean,
Who's going to do the checks and balances?
yeah, exactly. I just, it's all Greek to me, and you said it yourself that it changes with every hour, just about, isn't it? What you were saying?
For April, we got an 18-cent bill for the month of April, underbill. So, how we handle this so far. But if you guys want to do something different, we can do something different. I can't remember what the name of the work was, where they audit your bills, but we felt that the cost of auditing the bills would cost more than what an error would be.
Is that just given your history of the errors that have actually been identified? What are you basing that on, I guess? I'm just curious. Because, I mean, if you've found errors in the past, they haven't really cost very much, or it hasn't really been too much of a difference, so it wouldn't be worthwhile. I mean, I just know, like, in my history, we paid companies. We had very large corporate wireless in our phone plans, and we paid a company that audited our bills, and it paid for itself 5 times over on an annual basis. So I'm just curious, your feelings about it. It wouldn't be worth to pay for the audit. What are you basing that on?
It was based on Marlon Bird was our engineer that did the study, and that was one of the options that we could have signed up for right away. I can't remember what it was, $10,000. I can't tell you exactly.
I remember something about it, but I don't...
This is about a year ago when this happened, and he just made the recommendation that for what that would cost you, you're not going to see a return on your investment for hiring that outside. When there are companies out there that'll do it.
The other thing that's different is the number of times that your bill can be re-examined and adjusted. Once a week, once every 2 weeks, at the 55th day or something like that, the 105th day. These are all regular periods when the adjustments can go up and down, and do go up and down on it. Because a lot of it going back to the fact that you have put your bid in to buy power based upon an estimate of what it's going to be, and if you fluctuate from that estimate, over time things change, and they do change, and they go up and down pennies at a time. Now, some of them go up and down hundreds of dollars at a time.
Well, to me that just screams, probability of error. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that, or not. I mean, either it makes it more likely for error or far less likely for error because of the constant re-examination.
One would believe you're watching the bill.
I look at the monthly bills.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much can you even possibly begin to dig into it.
It give you a full-time job.
Yeah, I know. That's what...
I realize that, and that's why I wanted to just create a little discussion here about this. Is this something that is there a possibility of getting some audit firm that would come in here and say, I'm not saying to do it this year, but next year, come back and let's do 12 months, our last 12 months audit, and see if there is a pattern. I mean, I'm not accusing anybody of nothing. I'm just saying that with this variables, I wouldn't be comfortable with what we're getting for our money, I guess. So that's all. I'm just...
Well, a lot of times there's firms out there that do that kind of work for a percentage of what they find, right? I mean, if they don't find anything, they get nothing. But if they find something, they get a percentage of what that is. I mean, and I know it's a whole different world than what I'm used to, but, I just want to make sure that there isn't an opportunity there to recover some cost or... But if it's not recommended, then
well, I'm not sure. If you're comfortable with it, I guess I'm just putting this out for discussion and see what we got.
Yeah, I would think if we feel there's a need for it, do it for a year and see what happens. But they have, like Scott said, you have it's the 7-day settlement, then you have the I can't remember what it is, 15, 55, 105. They're always going back and rechecking the bills. It's ridiculous is what it
Because
is.
the thing is, it's all one large computer program, basically.
It's a monster.
Is what it is.
Well, maybe you could look into whether or not there's a company that does that.
Well, they are, but I can look back in the records, because I know we looked at this. For some reason, $10,000 sticking in my head.
I'm just,
But it may very well be worthwhile and at least makes everybody more comfortable with the situation if you do audit a sample of it at least and know that we're okay.
that's.
So it's something we can check into, but that doesn't make any difference whether we approve this.
No, but
No,
I just wanted this just for a discussion that when these bills come up, because you know what's gonna happen, we're gonna get the increase, we're gonna pass along to the customers. And we gotta make sure that we're passing the right amount along, because that, everything is money watch, everybody, you know, we're talking about from the senior citizens to
Everybody.
everybody. Yes, exactly, so.
And we kind of got a guy hired to do that for us already, right?
Marlon?
No, the other one that we hired to do our rate structure.
Yeah, rate structure.
So that'll do some of that for us. It won't audit what we're paying, but it should be able to tell us how much we're gonna have to charge.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
What you're getting at, Whitey, I asked Paul Bettine one time, how do you make money on cattle? He says, the only time you make money on cattle is when you buy them. This is the same scenario. What we pay for electricity affects everybody down the line. So you want to keep your wholesale power costs as low as you can keep them.
Exactly. I have no disagreement on that at all. It's just the idea that it's low because it's supposed to be low, not inflated by just mistakes. That's the only thing was my concern. So,
You know, before council would take any action on this, you can commend Bill for his work on this. Hours and hours and hours of contract work with our consultant on this and making sure that everything is just proper. You know, when we had a power contract before, it was like 6 pages long and it had everything in it that we needed 20 years ago. Things, of course, change over time and it's just extremely complicated anymore. And you know, we're just fortunate to have somebody around who really understands all the intricacies of that. And the other thing that Bill hasn't told you is the comparables about how we relate versus other munis and what they're buying supplemental power at. And we're much better off than any other muni that I think maybe you can think of. You know, we have been successful in coming up with this supplemental power agreement.
I only got 10 pages of just business definitions on here, so I didn't.
I see attached.
We never had that before.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just.
If I wanted to know what a definition was, I went to the dictionary and looked at the word, but you can't do that no more. They have to define it in the contract.
Yeah, because what you might think is that's a whole different ballgame. That's why when you look at these contracts, it's just whatever. Something.
So Bill, it's your recommendation we pass resolution 1030?
Yes, it is.
So do we have a motion for 1033?
I'll make that one.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Thank you.
Yes.
Trevor?
Yes. Overmore.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.